All right. Hi, everyone. So we did have some technical difficulties when recording this the first time, so we are doing a redo for you. And I am so happy to introduce Abigail Dean. Um, she is going to talk about how to implement at scale, so the top 5 strategies and resources. So go ahead, Abigail.
Great. Thanks, Brenna. Hi, everyone. As Brenna mentioned, we had some technical issues with the recording. So my co-presenter, Samantha Rosenberg, was there on the original conference presentation, but for this kind of re-recording, we're just going to give a summary of the presentation. Happy to be with you all. My name is Abigail Dean. I am the Education Success Manager for the Northeast area at Mind Research. I'm also a former elementary educator and coach as well. My colleague Sam is the District STEM Coordinator in Stratford Public Schools in Connecticut, and I'll be sharing some of her best practices as we go through today. And so the hope today is that we'll share some top strategies of how to successfully implement StMath, those top 5 strategies actually. We'll gather ideas from educators across the country, and we'll explore some resources and talk about how to really utilize them right away. So the first part that we want to really start with today is a really important theme, and this theme is our math goals. So as you're thinking before you share out about what is one of the math goals at your school and district? So we're really talking in general here, not necessarily StMath, just one of the goals at your school and district. And a lot of people were able to share some in the chat. Some of those were about increasing standardized test scores, of course, a conceptual understanding of math. I know that Sam talked about goal mastery and aligning that to mastery-based learning and supporting the acceleration of students as well. And so we had some people sharing out about those kinds of goals. And this is really important as we think about utilizing these strategies and how they will tie in to supporting the goals that you already have at your school and district. So the first strategy is bringing StMath into the classroom and the school community. But first, we're going to talk about the classroom. This strategy really includes a ton of great resources. So focusing on the classroom first, bringing StMath in the classroom really helps to solidify a lot of those math goals that you were thinking about just in that last slide. So the importance of setting up consistent StMath time in the classroom, thinking, do all of my students have equitable access to StMath? Do they all have the opportunity to learn with JiJi every week? And then thinking about bringing StMath into the classroom as an instructional tool. And one of the great ways to do that is to pull up a game whole group, maybe as a warm-up, as a closure activity, part of your class routine. I've seen it work really well, introducing a new unit, even as a daily morning class activity. So the 2 resources that you'll see here on the slide, the puzzle talks, which is essentially those mini lessons of bringing StMath games into the classroom. That's there in the puzzle talks. And then there's also a screenshot of the game mats. And on the next slide, I'm going to show you how to access these resources. But the game mats are a great tool to really provide an additional resource in supporting students working through the content of the math games. Some more resources here that also support bringing StMath into the classroom. We have game cards, exit tickets, math journals, bringing writing into StMath, and then the problem-solving bookmark. We have a lot of the resources in the problem-solving process that really support students really working through that learning cycle of trying something, seeing if it works, making the prediction, analyzing what happened, and then making a connection to what they already know. So some great resources. Now I'm going
And
to,
Abigail, I'll just chime in for
please,
one
Brenna.
second. So I've had a lot of success seeing teachers use the problem solving bookmark, not only for themselves to help facilitate struggling students, but also older grade levels, printing out the bookmarks, putting them on their desks, putting them in a folder for them to access at any point to help themselves when they're going through struggling a little bit, to get them out of that feeling of feeling stuck.
Yeah, I love that idea, and really kind of empowering them to use that themselves when they need it, right? And to kind of think about, um, what do I need to get me through this problem and how to solve it and using those strategies. Yeah, awesome. And I do want to share something in the chat here. We have made you a resource with a lot of the links that we're going to talk about in these 5 strategies. They're already embedded in there for you. So as we're talking through about where can I find the game cards, the math journals, and those things, they're already on this PDF. So Brenna's going to put that in the chat for you if she's able to. And those will have those resources. So as you're going through, know that they're all in that kind of one place. And I'm also going to put a link to this specific page in the chat too, this printable page. It's just from our help site, and it has all of these resources that you're looking for. This is that printable page from the help site that's going into the chat right now. If you're not able to see the chat in this recording, you can go to help.stmath.com/printables. Oh, awesome. Brennan just put in that agenda as well. And when you click on that and you open it up, oops, excuse me, you'll be able to see that PDF of all of those resources for you. And there's that printables one right there. So after you kind of take some time and really look through those principles, we heard from Brenna about one that has really worked for her and that she's seen great success with, the problem solving bookmark. But there's many, many more. So I encourage you to check out that site and think about ones to use in the future or tomorrow. So now, still in this first one with bringing ST Math in the classroom, but now we're moving on to the community. So thinking part of your school community is, of course, the school itself. So we're thinking about bulletin boards, ways to celebrate student success. Some screenshots that you see there are bulletin boards just from people sharing on Twitter about how they're posting and celebrating student success within their school community. I've also seen teachers encouraging and monitoring students, building this culture where mistakes are really celebrated. They're part of that path to mastery. They're really essential to that path. So I've even seen bulletin boards in a staff lounge before, where teachers are sharing successes and challenges that they are seeing with ST Math, added tips of how to overcome those challenges as well.
I know in my classroom when I was teaching, it was such a great motivator for my students to make goals together as a class also. And so the teacher can use the educator console, look at puzzle goals or minute goals or celebrate getting objectives. Things like that made a huge difference in my classroom. And I've seen success with some of the people I've been working with here too.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about some of those like challenges, so the puzzle challenges and celebrating those coming up in a few slides too. But those are really great ways to showcase student success too. And also still talking about that school community, of course, we're talking about families. And one of the awesome things that ST Math offers is a family workshop. And Sam from Stratford shared her experience having an ST Math workshop. This was the flyer that we utilized to let parents and families know about the workshop. We did this in the fall. We did it virtually. We invited students to join. Students played ST Math games. And parents were helping to facilitate, and then they switched and families played and students facilitated. And it was just a really awesome experience to really expand that JiJi culture, not only give parents the knowledge of what is ST Math, but also how do they help their students at home and why this is so beneficial for their kiddos, how this is helping them to really get that conceptual understanding to really kind of aid them as they move through the grades. So bring us to our next strategy here, conducting an ST Math challenge. And so this is such a fun one. You can think of your own challenge, and we'll talk about that in a second too. But currently, ST Math is hosting a national challenge right now called the Winter Waddle. You might have seen some emails about it if you follow us on social media. which we'll talk about soon too. We have a lot of great social media posts about that and excitement, building excitement about that. But there's also the option to do your own. And the picture that you see here, this screenshot is from Stratford. And so Sam shared that this celebration here was for the entire school year, that students had different levels that they received working toward a field day, which they did get. So it's a huge celebration for them. But this was a puzzle goal that they had set for the school to really reach each mark and get that celebration. So definitely a great idea to share. Other ideas here from other educators across the country. This one is from a math coach in New Jersey, sharing on social media. This is for weekly puzzles in different classrooms, celebrating it with this post. But we also have resources to help you celebrate and a challenge and reaching that challenge goal in our help site. So also on that agenda there's a link for it. We have these golden JiJis, certificates, tons of ideas and things like that. So you'll find that link on your agenda as well. There we go. And then the next strategy here is about social media. So how to utilize social media to really engage and celebrate. And so we have a whole national community of educators who have fantastic ideas of how to utilize StMath and really help students continue to learn and grow with JiJi. And so part of our StMath national community is on Twitter at StMath and Mind Research, Instagram, Pinterest. We have a Facebook community group. And we also have a blog article at mindresearch.org/blog. All of those links are in your agenda as well. But I do want to shout out specifically to an educator in Massachusetts, in Newton, Mass, with this awesome bulletin board posted on social media to get students excited and to let families know. And these other bulletin boards and areas in the classroom that you see are from Stratford. Sam, during our presentation, shared how she uses social media, not just to celebrate student success like we talked about, but also to give that knowledge to families and other educators. So she posted about the family workshop and about the user conference and of course celebrating as well. Coming up to that next strategy here, establishing an StMath champion, or even better, a whole team. So thinking about who will be the team that will help monitor and support your teachers and your students with StMath. Establishing those distinct champions who meet regularly with the StMath support team, the education success manager, or another type of support person to monitor the school and district usage, celebrate student success. I've seen champions bring data to PLCs weekly or monthly, start a PLC meeting by playing an StMath game and then discussing ways that the game can be an opportunity for academic discourse, for instance. Champions are great people to help revisit goals and support teachers. And so this picture that you see here is our champions from Stratford. Sam shared at the presentation that she feels so lucky that they have a team of math coaches who help to implement the StMath at the schools. And so that's how they structure their champion. And it's been really powerful. And in your agenda are some administrator and coach tools, which will help kind of support the champion at your school and district. One specifically that I want to point out is the walkthrough form, which can really help to guide this conversation about supporting StMath across classrooms or schools, depending on your role. And here's a quick quote from one of our educators in Southern California, Trisha has her own team of champs, and she's really loving how it's implementing it, how it's being successful implementing StMath. And our final strategy is to make time for professional learning. So, this is such a challenging time to fit in professional learning. It's always a challenging time to fit in professional learning, but of course, it is more challenging over the course of these last 2 years. So, we have a lot of really flexible options to keep professional learning continuing because it is so important. So, we do have flexibility in live workshops, and we have flexibility in the duration, the content, even the platform that we use, virtual or in person. Those are options too. And so you're looking at the catalog, which is on the screen right now, the professional learning catalog. But we also have online courses in our professional learning site called the Academy, and that's the screenshot that you see toward the bottom. These online courses are set up as really short modules to be really engaging and interactive. And it's a great way to get in a small amount of professional learning in a really flexible and convenient way. And so once complete, educators can view a certificate of completion on that same site under the My Learning tab, and they can use that certificate for professional learning hours for the district or to show completion. And these courses are not just for those new to StMath. There are short modules on differentiating instruction, teaching remotely, involving families, so many topics that really span your knowledge of StMath, whether you're a newer StMath educator or you're a champion. You've been using StMath for quite some time. And one more note about professional learning, I think that's really important when thinking about making time for it, is that so much of the content in the professional learning trainings is really transferable to different content areas. So we think about perseverance and problem solving, building that growth mindset in your students, using mistakes as learning opportunities, thinking critically. So much of that content in the trainings is skills and teaching that your educators can use in all content areas. Really powerful stuff that really spans outside of StMath. All those links are in your agenda as well. And as we come up to the end, that was a quick overview of those top 5 strategies. If there's any kind of takeaways of things you've done before that you'd like to share out, or things that you are excited to try and you're going to experiment with, we'd love to hear from you. And my contact information is on that agenda as well, but I'll also put it in the chat. We'd love to hear from you all. And then, of course, we want to thank you so much for listening to this recording. If you joined the original session, we, of course, want to thank you for being there as well. Myself and Sam Rosenberg want to especially thank you. And we've put our contact info there. It's also in the agenda. And I also want to thank Brenna for being here with us too.
Of course. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.